Well, would you look at that? Johnny Gaudreau has signed a 7-year deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets. The biggest question of 2022 free agency has been answered. The man who finished fourth in voting for the NHL's Hart Trophy with 3 first-place votes as league MVP last season, following the best two-way season of his career, has decided to take his talents to Columbus, Ohio. This contract comes in well below what most people's expectations were, with Artemi Panarin's free agent contract with the New York Rangers in 2019 looking like the closest comparable deal at roughly $11.6 million per year. Instead of matching or surpassing that deal, Gaudreau took a considerably pay cut to be closer to his family on the East Coast, while also providing his new team with more cap flexibility going forward. Gaudreau is an 8-year veteran with 602 regular season NHL games already under his belt at the age of 28. He is just over a point per game over the course of his career with 609 regular season points. He was drafted in the 4th round of the 2011 draft, which was 104th overall by the Calgary Flames, and has proven his doubters wrong every year since. He fell so far in the draft because NHL general managers were worried that his slight frame, which is 5'9", would preclude him from reaching the NHL. However, his skills are so transcendent that he's been able to not only attain success in the NHL, but has also blossomed into one of the game's premier stars. After a run of somewhat disappointing seasons from 2019 to 2021, Gaudreau had a career year in 21-22, setting career highs in goals, which was 40, assists, which was 75, and points, which was 115 if you do the math. He also led the league by a considerable amount in points scored at even strength, effectively proving that he isn't just a power play specialist. Gaudreau finished the season with 90 even strength points, 12 more than the next player. Gaudreau's line mates Matthew Tkachuk and Elias Lindholm each had career seasons as well, leading many to argue that they made up the best forward line in all of hockey last season. There is no doubt that he is in the prime of his years in his career, and he has capitalized on that with this contract. So, how does Johnny Hockey fit in Columbus? Well, Gaudreau is likely the only free agent available who is an absolute lock as a first-line talent for the team that landed him. Every one of his suitors in free agency understood that they were bidding for a true superstar player who could change their fortune significantly. It's not often that a player who is tied for second in league scoring reaches the free agent market, so when they do, seismic changes occur for both their previous team and their new one. The Blue Jackets now have the best player in free agency who can be counted on to make his line mates better while scoring 90-plus points per season for the next few years. It will obviously take him some time to develop chemistry with his new teammates before he can play at quite the same level that he did with Lindholm and Tkachuk, but that is a risk that Columbus was clearly willing to take. The Blue Jackets were a team on the cusp of playoff success for several years before losing star winger Artemi Panarin to free agency and then Matthew Duchene for the same cause. Ever since, Blue Jackets general manager Jarmo Kekalainen has orchestrated a masterful rebuild with a handful of early first-round picks that will soon turn their fortunes of the team around. However, the Gaudreau signing will do more for their rebuild than any of those individual draft picks because he is already in his prime. So now what happens for the Calgary Flames? Well, as Gaudreau's breakout season continued, the Calgary Flames began to regret not re-signing him last offseason more and more. Coming off a 2-season stretch where he scored 107 points in 126 games, his contract value was significantly lower than it became by the season's end. The Flames began the 2022 offseason with just under $27 million in cap space, but that can shrink pretty quickly when you have to re-sign Matthew Tkachuk, Oliver Killington, and Andrew Mangiapane, and Gaudreau informed the Flames management team on Tuesday night that he was not going to be returning, not for a lack of money offered, but because he wanted to move to a city that was closer to his family. And while it's devastating for the Flames to lose their best player with nothing coming back in return, they will now shift their focus to extending Matthew Tkachuk long term. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.